All right, continuing on with the CD collection. I'm not sure what number video this is. We're still in the B's. Starting off from Finland, this is a project. This CD's been out probably 20 years. I think it came out somewhere around 2000, somewhere around in there. This features Jarva, Tonelli Jarva, the former vocalist from Sentenced. This is a project that he took up when he left Sentenced. I'm not sure if this one is still going or not. This is actually the only album that I own from this project. This is the Black League with Echor or Echor. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. This is pretty good. It's kind of gothic metal, gothic rock type stuff. But I do enjoy this. I always enjoyed Sentenced a little bit better when he was in the band. So it's nice to hear him on something else, and I dig that one quite a bit. I need to look. I know they've got other albums out, but unfortunately, that's the only one that I own. As you can see, when I bought it, it was on clearance. I got that for $1. I don't know if that. I thought it was $5, but just looking at it now, I see that I got it for $1. So it was well worth what I paid for that. Next up, this is a compilation that Oliver put out over at Black Line Records. It's just a Black Line compilation entitled Afterlife and Darkness 1. It's 2 CDs, and it's got a ton of the bands that are on the Black Line Records roster. This compilation has been out just a little bit. I think he's released another, or is going to release another. This one came out in 2019, so. But it's pretty solid stuff. It's got some very solid bands on there. I own a lot of those full length because I own a ton of Black Line Records material. Next up, we have this is a band out of Mexico, a black metal. They put out a steady amount of albums between 2015 and 2018. This is the only release that I own from them, but I think in just 2018 alone, they put out like 3 full lengths. This is Black Lord, and this one is Pagan Iron Sword. Pretty decent stuff. I got this in a grab bag, I believe. It was either in a grab bag or it was a freebie and an order. But I dig it quite a bit. It's just straightforward black metal. There's nothing just reinventing or super original on this, but it is a good listen for what it is. So next up, this is an album that I really enjoy. This is a band out of Canada. They have, I know, at least one other full length. I did not like that one nearly as much as this one. This album was almost as perfect of a folky black metal album as I could imagine, but I really love this one, so it made some of the other material a bit more disappointing when I actually checked it out. But this is one that I do enjoy quite a bit. This is Black Lotus with Harvest of Seasons. Unfortunately, that case is a little cracked. I'll probably change that out after this video. I should have changed it out before, but constant lack of preparation for this stuff. This was released on Bleak Art Records back in 2008. I don't know if a lot of you have heard this project. If you're into that kind of folky black metal, almost it kind of drowns on sometimes, like the acoustic kind of passages. But if you're into that kind of folky black metal, I think you will really enjoy this one. I may at some point start up some kind of series where I have the 7 Deadly Spins already going, but a series where I kind of pick out the little hidden gems in the collection that you guys may have missed along the way. Next up, I've had this album forever. I've had this long before I even thought about doing YouTube. This is they used to have these little Crash Music bundles on eBay, and they were going for next to nothing. It was just complete overstock from Crash Music. I've had probably 6 or 7 copies of this one album in my possession at one point or another that I've rehomed along the way. I always kept one for myself. This is Black Mass with Voices of Fate. Just blackened death metal out of the U.S. I don't really remember. I think maybe Maryland is where they're from. Crash Music is from Pennsylvania, but I'm wanting to say Black Mass was out of Maryland. I think that honestly, I think they're still active. This is the only release from them that I own. Pretty good. I mean, it's nothing just over the top great, but it is good enough that it's remained in my possession all of these years. Next up, we have something sticky on the front of this with a dog hair. So you may just have to look at it. There it goes. This is some hardcore. This is Black My Heart with Before the Devil. I don't remember just a ton about this. I think I got this used from Hastings when they were going out of business. I saw it. I think it was like a quarter. I don't honestly remember just a ton about this, to be completely honest. I remember it's hardcore. I don't listen to just a ton of hardcore anymore, but there we go. I may have to do a little memory refresher on that at some time in the future. Next up, we have it's entitled Black and Roll. This is Black River is the name of the project. It's kind of stoner doom slash black and roll. And this features a member of Behemoth and a member of Dimmu Borgir, among some other musicians on this, doing their kind of take on this kind of stoner doom, groovy type stuff. It's pretty good. I got this way back in a grab bag, and I've held on to it, obviously. I think they've got some other albums out, but this is the only one that I own from this project. It will probably be the only one that I do pick up, unless just something happens and I happen to get another in my possession. This one is enough to suffice that yearning when I reach for something like this. I mean, that's not something that I'm gonna reach for all the time, but when I do get in the mood for something like that, it definitely meets that need. Next up, this is an album that I absolutely hated the first time I listened to it, and it's kind of grown on me. I'm not super big into Venom, and it's kind of that black and speed metal, very similar to what Venom was putting out. This is Black Rock with the Mighty Sacrifice. I got this. I believe it was in a Red Stream. They used to do these little mystery boxes by genre. I did a black metal kind of mystery grab bag, and this one was in there. I absolutely just did not like it the first time I listened to it. I let it sit for a while. Went back and revisited it, and I was like, this isn't so bad. And now it's grown on me, and I've come to really enjoy this release. I know they've got some other material out as well, but this one is pretty good. It was released on Metal Throne Productions. So next up, we have Black Sabbath with their self-titled. You will see very shortly how lacking I am in Black Sabbath material in the CD collection. I do own some records. Maybe if I ever make it all the way through the CD videos, I will start kind of showing the vinyl and CD and cassette collections as well. But I have the self-titled. This is by far my favorite Black Sabbath release. I know it's kind of boring for me to say that, kind of cliche, but it is my favorite. This is an album that you could listen to by candlelight, and it's still terrifying to this day. They don't even have to try to put on the growls or do anything. They're just front runners of heavy metal, and it's still a terrifying album. Next up, we have Black Sabbath with Paranoid. I think I got this one at Walmart. I don't really have to spend too much time. You all know Black Sabbath. You've heard Black Sabbath hundreds of thousands of times. And then we have 13. I wasn't big on this one. I know there were people that really enjoyed this release. I've only listened to it all the way through once, and I wasn't very keen on it. Obviously, you could tell I bought it used because it has some shelf wear. That's definitely not for me. I think, as I said, I've pulled it off the shelf and listened to it once. I may need to revisit that. Maybe I just wasn't in the mood for it when I actually listened to it. I know I've heard people speak highly of that release, and it just, I don't know, there was something in there, something about it just kind of irked me. And then we have the Black Sabbath tribute entitled Nativity in Black. If you're a Type O Negative fan like I am, then this is something that you're going to want to have just because it has the Type O cover of Black Sabbath. Has some other bands on here covering Black Sabbath material as well. Megadeth is on here, White Zombie, Sepultura. It's got an Ugly Kid Joe track on here as well. So pretty decent there. And one, obviously, you could tell that I've listened to hundreds and thousands of times because it's not even open yet. I got this in the latest Relapse Records grab bag that I did. There was a ton of very similar stuff in that grab bag. There was some fodder in that grab bag. There was a ton of like kind of sludgy atmospheric stuff, and this one is in that same vein. This is a Black Salvation with Uncertainty is Bliss. This is one that I've heard like on YouTube. I've heard some streams. I haven't heard the whole album yet. I've heard tracks here or there. It isn't terrible. It has members of In Solitude. I do enjoy In Solitude. A little bit different sound going on this. I just kind of shelved it and forgot about it, honestly. And as you can see, it has never, the plastic on it has never even been broke. So move on to this next deck. Next up, we have some black and death metal out of here in the U.S. This is Black September with The Forbidden Gates Beyond. This one's actually pretty decent. This is released on Prosthetic Records. I know they have some other full lengths out. This is the only one that I've pulled the trigger and actually got into my possession. It's pretty good. It's probably my favorite release from Black September. That's the reason why I just haven't rushed out to grab any of their other material, because I feel like I've got the best that they have to offer in that one release. Next up, this album, it seemed like I was getting in all kinds of grab bags. This is another one of those albums that I've had multiple copies in my possession over time. If you ever did a Season of Mist grab bag, you probably received this in that grab bag as well. This is a Black Sheep Wall with No Matter Where It Ends. It's not a terrible release. It's very atmospheric, kind of sludgy, post-metal type stuff. It's pretty good for what it is. I don't know if it just didn't sell well or they mass overproduced it, but Season of Mist was giving this thing away in every grab bag. I think now you can go to the site, and a lot of times when they're having sales or something, they have this on there for like $1 or less. They still have so many copies of that. So I don't understand I don't know if they were expecting that thing to move more than what it did, or if it was kind of when the decline of CDs was going and they just mass overproduced it. I don't know what happened. I don't know why they have so many extra copies of that. Next up, we have some melodic death metal from Italy. This was released on Black Line Records. This is Black Therapy with Echoes of Dying Memories. This is a phenomenal release. If you're into melodeath, definitely check this one out if you have not done so. I think some people kind of slept on this release, and they shouldn't have, because it is a very strong death metal release. Came out in 2019. It's kind of surprising to me that it's been out that long. It doesn't feel like it to me, but it is a stellar release. Next up, we have some deathcore. This is Black Tongue with the Redux. It's got the Born Hanged and Falsifier EPs on this, and they're kind of, it says Redux. They're in a different order, different track order. This thing has gotten, I've seen the price on these fluctuate forever. Like, at one point, they were selling for like $140 on Discogs. I think now you can get one for around $20 to $25. There was something kind of quirky with the licensing between Century Media and the band, and I'm not sure the details on that, and I don't think the band had approved this. It was something weird, so they kind of disappeared off the market, and that's when the price shot up on this. I used to own the Born Hanged EP on its own. I ended up moving that along after I got this Redux. I've had this, and this is another release that I've had multiple copies in my possession, and I've gifted them and sold them much cheaper than what they were going on the resale market, just because I didn't see the point of people paying $100 for a CD. There for a while, someone on eBay had gotten a stack of them and was selling them for like $10 a piece, and I bought multiple ones and then started getting them out to people that I thought would enjoy it. This is next up we have Black Tongue with the Unconquerable Dark. This was the last release that I picked up from this project. I bought this online, but apparently Britt from Streetlight, I guess Streetlight is a record store. I don't know if the record store had an online shop or what, but the employee recommends sticker is still on this when it came on. So Britt from Streetlight apparently recommended Black Tongue, but I did buy it online. So a lot of stores and stuff have online, like eBay stores and Discog stores now. So not much of a surprise there. Next up, we have some sludge metal. This is Black Tusk with Set the Dial. This is one I think I got in a Relapse grab bag many years ago. I've done so many Relapse grab bags at this point. This is the only Black Tusk release that I own. Pretty decent sludge metal. Not something I'm just going to listen to all the time, but for what it is pretty good. This is one that I don't even know how I got this. I was pulling these off the shelf and getting ready for this video, and I forgot that I even owned this one, as bad as that sounds. I'm kind of glad that I do. It's the only release that I own from this project. It's a compilation, so going to get into this and give it a spin here in the very near future, because I am excited to have it. This is Black Witchery with Evil Shall Prevail. This was released on Nuclear War Now. I'm not sure when this little compilation came out. It hasn't been out just too terribly long, but I honestly forgot, as bad as that sounds, I honestly forgot that I even had this in my possession. So this is all that I own from Black Witchery, and I should change that at some point, but some of their stuff is pretty pricey. That's why I was surprised that I stumbled across that one, and that I had it. I wasn't even sure that I did. Next up, this is a melodic death metal band, folky melodic death metal band. They have a terrible reputation. I've seen them live a couple times, and they're fun live. I think that's why I have kind of a soft spot for them. But when you have a folky mellow death band that has albums released on Sumerian and Victory Records, you kind of, I mean, that those are a couple of red flags there. But anyway, this is Blackguard, and this is their debut, Profugus Mortis, I believe. This one I wasn't super big on, really, at all. It was kind of a letdown, especially after hearing the one that I got next. This one I picked up when I saw them live. This is Blackguard with Firefight. Yeah. And I mean, I enjoy them, I think, much better live than on CD, but it is what it is. It's just folky mellow death. Next up, this is another one of those little gems in my collection. This is the only full length that this band put out under this name. I think they changed names. I don't remember what they changed it to. And honestly, I'm not sure how I stumbled upon first hearing this. You can usually, I know when I purchased my copy of this, you could find these copies fairly cheap. This is Black Through, and is Tenzis? Yeah, it's got I don't know how to pronounce that. They are from Lithuania, and this came out in 2006. If you're into Burzum, you'll probably enjoy this. It has that kind of ambience within the black metal, but I mean, they're very capable. It's a very capable project, and I need to find out what their new name is and check out some of their new material. But this is one of those kind of diamond in the rough type releases that I think a lot of people have not heard, and I think you, especially a lot of you black metal enthusiasts that follow this channel, I think you will dig that one. So definitely check out Black Through. It's all one word. It's just Black, THRU, Black Through. Next up, this is some brutal death metal. This is one of the albums that I got out of that huge Severed. I don't know how Severed. I'll call it Severed But the Severed Records grab bag, that big 100 CD grab bag that I did, this is brutal death metal. I mean, obviously, it's out of Italy. This is Blackhurt with Ideological Carnage. Funny thing about that band is they were originating their band name off of an Immortal song, an Immortal song, and they spelled it wrong, and but the name stuck, and that's where they are with it. I mean, it's a pretty decent little slab of brutal death metal. I was getting overwhelmed after hearing so much brutal death over and over and over as I was working my way through that grab bag. So some of the stuff didn't get some of the attention that it probably deserved. But yeah. Next up, we got 2 CDs left, and then that'll be it for this edition of this series. We have Blasphemy with Fallen Angel of Doom. Don't have to tell you guys about Blasphemy. If you're watching this channel, I know you know who they are. Some war metal. Haven't had this one just too long. Surprisingly, you would think this is something that's been in my possession forever, but I haven't had this in my collection just too terribly long. This press was released on Nuclear War Now, and then I have a kind of a live bootleg of Blasphemy. This one is Live Ritual, Friday the 13th. This one sounds exactly as you would imagine a live bootleg of Blasphemy to sound. It's pretty raw, but I mean, for what it is, it's a good listen for what it is, but it is kind of raw and unpolished. But that's all for this one. I will try to keep these going. I was kind of slacking, I know. Hopefully I'll get another one recorded here in the near future and keep these going. I'll see you guys soon.